So again, a massive drain. This country is going to be bankrupt by the time this government's out.
Yeah.
And the biggest problem we've got now is how do we get this government out there?
Reform UK MP Sarah Pochin stuns Parliament with fiery speech criticising Keir Starmer's leadership. You're not going to believe what just happened inside Parliament today. A Reform UK MP Sarah Pochin just shook the entire chamber with one of the boldest speeches we've seen this year. It wasn't scripted, it wasn't rehearsed, and it certainly wasn't the kind of statement party leaders expect to hear broadcast across every major network. In a few short minutes, she delivered a passionate, unfiltered message aimed directly at Labour leader Keir Starmer that left MPs whispering, journalists typing, and viewers at home replaying the clip again and again. Let's get into what she said, why it hit so hard, and how this moment could change the political tone in Westminster heading into election season. It happened during a heated debate on public trust in leadership, a topic that's already been haunting both major parties for months. Sarah Pochin, a relatively new but rising voice within Reform UK, took the floor. Her tone, calm at first, quickly sharpened. She began by saying, "The British people are losing faith not just in policies, but in politicians themselves." The room fell quiet. Then she turned toward the opposition benches, where Keir Starmer sat, expressionless. Pochin continued, "We can't rebuild trust by pretending that everything is fine. We can't promise integrity, then act like the rules don't apply to us. Leadership isn't about the title, it's about the example." And that's when the tone changed. She raised her voice, not shouting, but commanding. If this is what leadership looks like, no wonder people are walking away from politics altogether. The air shifted. You could almost feel the tension. Some MPs nodded quietly, others stared down at their notes. Even the speaker paused for a moment before calling, "Order." Within minutes, the clip was trending online. One journalist from The Telegraph tweeted, "Sarah Pochin just delivered the most direct challenge to Starmer's image of stability we've heard this year." Another commentator wrote, "Reform UK may be small in Parliament, but Pochin's speech just gave them the kind of viral moment every party dreams of." And she didn't rely on insults or soundbites, her strength was in delivery. She spoke about accountability, hypocrisy, and the growing disconnect between political elites and ordinary citizens. She said, "When people can't afford their bills, when families can't trust what they hear from those in charge, that's not just politics failing, that's leadership failing." It was powerful. And whether you support her or not, it struck a nerve that millions of voters already feel. To understand why this speech blew up so quickly, you need to know the backdrop. Reform UK has been positioning itself as the voice of the forgotten voter, those who feel let down by both Conservatives and Labour. Keir Starmer, on the other hand, has been working tirelessly to project competence and stability, trying to prove to the public that Labour is ready to govern again after more than a decade in opposition. So when a Reform MP takes direct aim at Starmer's leadership, calling out what she sees as political double standards, it lands right at the center of that fragile image he's been building. Political insiders say this moment could fuel Reform's growing online presence. As one strategist put it, they've been looking for a breakout soundbite and Pochin just gave them one. Reform UK leader Richard Tice immediately praised Pochin's speech, calling it a moment of truth-telling in a sea of spin. Labour, unsurprisingly, fired back. A spokesperson for the party said, "This is just political grandstanding from a fringe party that offers no real solutions." But the public reaction tells a different story. Under video clips posted online, the comments are divided yet passionate. One viewer wrote, "Finally someone said what the rest of us are thinking about Westminster." Another replied, "I don't agree with her politics, but she spoke with conviction." That's rare these days. By the next morning, hashtags like hashtag Sarah Pochin speech and hashtag Parliament Showdown were trending across X and TikTok. Even political analysts admitted, it was one of those rare parliamentary moments where authenticity trumped party loyalty. What makes this story so compelling isn't just what she said, it's how she said it. No scripted jabs. No empty slogans. Just raw frustration wrapped in eloquence. She embodied what many voters have been craving, a sense that someone, anyone, in politics is still willing to speak plainly. And while some critics accused her of political theater, others argued that theater might be exactly what British politics needs right now, a jolt of honesty, passion, and human emotion in a system that often feels robotic. One columnist summed it up best. Sarah Pochin didn't just speak to the House, she spoke to the country. This speech will likely have ripple effects far beyond that single moment. For Reform UK, it's a publicity win. The clip's already racking up views across YouTube and Facebook, giving them valuable exposure ahead of the next general election. For Labour, it's a reminder that even as they surge in the polls, they're still vulnerable to attacks that question their authenticity and integrity. And for Keir Starmer personally, this isn't a scandal, but it is a perception problem. Because in politics, perception often matters more than fact. If too many voters start to feel disconnected, no amount of policy speeches can fix that. So what does this all tell us? It tells us that political energy in Britain is shifting. People are tired of polished talking points. They want fire, they want conviction, they want truth, even if it's messy. Sarah Pochin may not hold a top government position, but with one short speech, she reminded everyone what Parliament used to sound like before the spin, before the silence, before the fear of saying what everyone's thinking. Her words will echo long after the applause dies down. And as the next election looms, the question hangs in the air. Who will speak for the people next? And who will be brave enough to actually mean it?